Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shifting Tones, the greatest podcast on earth, the only podcast you ever need to listen to ever again. I'm your host, Sam, and that's right, this is the podcast with shifting tones and nerdy formats. And I am joined by my lovely, wonderful, amazing co-hosts, Stinky Steffi.
Hi, question. Did you say our tagline right?
Maybe.
Yes.
I'm adding stuff, yeah.
I feel like you got it swapped. Anyway, hello.
Shifting nerds and formats toning. And
Okay.
I'm also joined by my other co-host slash wife slash cool guy, Larissa.
I'm a cool guy? Cool. I never have been described as one of those before. Hello, I am the cool guy, apparently.
That's right. So, guys, welcome back. I feel like it's been like a week since we recorded.
It's
Wild.
Jinx.
How? Okay. Yep. I would like 2 sodas, please.
How do we compromise and I'll get you
Venmo me
soda pop.
$100. Okay. Enough of that. What is going on with you guys? What's up with you, Steph? What's the
Yeah.
small talk?
Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness golly. Where do I even begin? Mind you, I had, like a 14-hour workday today or
That's
something
cool.
ridiculous. No, it was just a meeting I completely forgot about and was
Whoops.
like,
Oh.
oh, I have to do that.
Wow.
Also, tell me, this is just a personal thing. I know
Sure.
listeners, you're probably like, but hello, a school meeting from 4:15 to 6:45. Hello.
That
Sorry.
is stupid.
It's a lot. So if
is
I
a
have a
lot.
lot of energy, it's because it's pent up frustrations from that. So this episode, I might be a little like all over the place. So I apologize.
You heard her, kids. She said, don't go to school. It's not worth it.
I did not say that whatsoever.
She said BS to administrative nonsense.
Basically. No, but other than that, I've been really on a YouTube grind.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure y'all have. I think we've talked about it quite a bit, but yeah, I've been on a YouTube grind where I've been trying to push out more YouTube videos and edit and things like that, and that's kind of consumed my whole life as of this moment. So it's been a lot.
We love that for you, though.
Yeah.
And you've just uploaded a video not too long ago, right?
Yeah. I did. That took me like weeks to edit, but I got it out, and I'm happy about it.
That's
It was really good.
exciting.
Thank you.
I watched it today at on my lunch.
Ooh.
Yes. I liked the like Super Smash Bros. Intros for the other people in your SMP. It was really good.
Thank you. It's I really like YouTube. I like editing, but man, when you have a full-time job, trying to commit yourself to that YouTube grind, it is rough out there.
Yeah,
get
where
it.
does the time go?
Oh, right out the
Editing.
window.
Editing.
To the
It all
wall.
goes to editing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm happy that you are enjoying your hobbies, and I'm sorry that a lot of your time is being consumed by worthless, boring stuff like meetings.
Yeah. Rude. Very rude. Don't they know you're a famous YouTuber and streamer?
Yeah, okay.
Rude.
Yeah, you're like the Taylor Swift of your school.
Talking about Taylor Swift, I watched the Super Bowl this weekend. Bum, bum, bum,
Wow,
bum.
football game, big one.
Yeah, I'm not a big football person per se, but I always have watched the Super Bowl just because it's a fun event. Like, it's a good excuse to eat a bunch of crappy food and hang out with your friends. So
Heck yeah.
why not love it? And so this year, I'm always hoping that the game's going to be a little bit interesting from like a viewpoint of someone who's like not that interested in football, but I'm hoping for some long passes, some good runs, and like there was nothing good. This game was a snooze fest. Oh,
Even
my
though it
goodness.
went into overtime?
Snooze fest.
Everything pretty much happened in the fourth quarter.
I
Yeah.
didn't even watch it, so that's how much.
Well, you didn't miss
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And literally the highlight of the game was Taylor Swift chugging a beer. So yeah.
Well, I get it. Like, I'm not a huge Super Bowl fan only because it's never like the Browns in the Super
Sure.
Bowl.
Mhm.
It might be one day, but it never has
Fingers
been.
crossed. Knock on wood.
And but I only got into football like since 2016, really.
Mhm.
Like before that, like I'd be interested in what the Browns were doing, but like now I'm like actually watch other games sometimes besides the Browns, which is weird. And I've been enjoying it. It's fun as long as the game's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, not like last night's game. I mean, the halftime show was kind of fun. Like I kind of asked our friends' opinions right away, right after it, and I was just like, guys, that was like super corny, right? And they're like, no, man, that was awesome. And I'm just like, Usher was on roller skates.
Yeah,
like,
it was
not
awesome.
even like blades, like roller skates, like a grade school kind of like dance kind of vibe. I was just like, I don't know about that.
It was better than some in the past. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the stage was cool. There was a lot of like performers and a lot of cool costuming and a lot of dance coordination. Like the dancing was really fun. And I liked the little prelude from like Apple Music for like the warning for like excessive gyrating and excessive,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, like beats or something like that from the music. That was
I
funny.
have no idea what y'all are talking about, primarily
Really?
because for me, I have not seen a single piece of media or clips or anything posted about the Super Bowl or halftime show. So
You're in
to
meetings all day.
well, but I mean, like, still, even just looking on like Twitter or on my
Right.
phone or something, haven't seen a single thing about it.
Interesting.
So I'm like, I guess I follow the right people then.
Oh,
Just kidding.
burn.
Right before the halftime show, they put up this like big red, like almost like rated R, like
Yeah.
warning, but it was like
It was so
it was like
silly.
rated U for whatever for Usher,
Yeah,
and
you
it was
for
like
sure.
it said it may cause like extreme gyrating, dancing, and like singing to like intense beats and songs and stuff. It was funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Super corny. Super corny. I was like, oh man, this brings me right back to middle school, and that's the kind of like corniness like I experienced where I was like, I don't know, man, guys. Like, I love Usher. His music's great. But
Did he sing Yeah?
hell yeah, he did, and he brought out all the rappers
Yeah.
and stuff. It was great. Like,
Little
I
John?
Like,
Did Little John come out?
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Did
It
he?
was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
lot of
That's
fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Samuel.
Were they on roller skates too, or no?
No, I think just Usher.
Ain't no way they put Little John on some roller skates.
That's how corny the show was, Steph. Like, oh my goodness.
It was fun. Okay, but enough about you guys. It's my turn for small talk.
All
Yeah.
right, let's hear the notes. Whip out the notepad. What is it?
Okay, I also watched the Super Bowl this weekend, so there's nothing to talk about there. Okay. So point number 1 in small talk corner with Sam.
Sure.
I am getting very annoyed sometimes by seeing primarily videos because I don't see it actually happen in like the wild. But
Whoa,
people
real
like
life?
approaching celebrities in public, like trying to get a photo when like they're just walking through the airport or just trying to go get like a cup of coffee and stuff. Like
yeah.
I get that they're world famous or that they're like big influencers or like popular, but like just actually standing in front of them while they're walking or holding your phone in front of them while they're just trying to like do something, like it's got to be so annoying. Like I know the paparazzi is horrible to begin with, but also just like regular people doing it. Like just let people live their lives. Like get over yourself.
It's a little selfish and a little I'm losing the word right now, but like you feel like you deserve their attention in
Yes,
a way where
yes.
like that's no one deserves your attention.
Point number 2. I love the moving walkways at airports, and I'm excited to use it again in a couple weeks when I go to the airport.
The-
they-
I always call them walkolators.
Yeah,
That's
the
great.
walkolators.
I
Yes.
like that term.
I
make
don't-
you feel
I
like
don't know
super
what they're
speed.
actually called, but that's what I've always called them.
That's a good question. I don't know what they're actually called.
I think they're moving walkways. Don't they make you feel like you're like a super speedster or something like that, and you're just like walking like faster than the speed of light, even though you're probably going like 3 miles per hour faster than normal?
It makes me feel like I'm in space almost. Like my like steps take less effort, like a little anti-gravity feeling, like that's how I imagine I would walk in space because there's less resistance.
Yes. Point number 3. I have a goldfish conspiracy theory.
Oh,
Specifically about goldfish, the animal. So like
not
pet stores.
the
Not
crackers.
the snack.
No.
It doesn't smile back, guys.
No, so this conspiracy theory involves the fact that when you go to a pet store, like the most common, easily affordable, cheapest, there's
right.
thousands of
Bottom
them,
of the
is
barrel.
goldfish, yes. And there's always like tons of dead ones in there too. However, they always still have, even though they're not good for the fish and they're not good for any fish, even goldfish who are small and tiny, are those little plastic bowls.
Yeah.
Like the little
poor babies.
quote unquote fish bowl that
Yeah.
you're not supposed to put a fish in. Even if you get a goldfish, you're supposed to have a tank with like stuff in it. I think that the fishbowl companies and the goldfish distributors and like the pet stores are all in on it together to sell more goldfish because they've been overproducing goldfish for some sort of secret goldfish army, and they've made too many because there's too many weak ones, so they're trying to sell more, so they're giving out the cheap bowls.
Weaklings.
Yep.
Are you just like super bored at work and you're like, oh, what about this?
No, this is years in the making.
You're just writing all these down.
Steph, this is what the government doesn't want you to know about, okay? All
They're
right.
purposely killing the goldfish so you buy more. They're really supposed to live for like 20 years or something.
And I think they can grow to adapt to their tank size.
That's true.
Yeah, they can get huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get like to the size of like, I don't know, like probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 inches like big, like more than just like 2 or 3 inches that like a normal goldfish might grow to. I mean, we didn't take great care of our goldfish growing up because we didn't know any better, but I think the government did. Okay. Speaking of the government and conspiracies and goldfish, today's topic is something very interesting. What?
I don't know where this is transitioning to. Goldfish, government, conspiracies.
Well, listen up, because it's the biggest conspiracy of all, and it's the biggest, most fun topic of all. It's time travel.
Oh. What does that have to do with goldfish?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. So today I just wanted to do a little time travel episode. I'm not going to take you guys back in time, but we're going to like have some good discussions. I'm going to ask you guys some questions about scenarios or different time travel-esque things. Ooh. And I want you guys to give me your answers. I might chime in here and there. I don't know if I'll give answers to, just depending on time.
Sure.
But get it, time. But we will be discussing time travel. So are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, unless you go back in time, you might be more ready.
Man.
Did I steal your joke?
I was going to say, man, I guess it, whatever.
I don't know what you were going to say, Steph.
You're going to be ready in 2 minutes.
Yeah, just you wait. All right. So, question number 1, I think this is going to be a fun question, is if you could time travel, like if given the opportunity, and they presented you the time travel society or whatever reached out to you and was like, hey, we want you to time travel. I don't know who's reaching out to you.
Sure.
But anyways, they bring you to a giant warehouse, and in front of you are a bunch of different devices that allow you to time travel.
Okay.
Which one are you selecting? So these are from like famous media. So I will give you some options.
Okay.
Yeah. So option number 1 is, of course, the classic DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Classic.
Option number 2 is a TARDIS from Doctor Who.
Oh, it's bigger on the inside.
Yep. Option number 3 is a time dagger from, I believe, Prince of Persia.
Interesting.
Yep. Option number 4.
Stab yourself to time travel?
I don't know.
Is that the idea? Oh,
I don't know. I just Googled it. Option number 4 is a telephone booth from Bill and Ted, so slightly different than a TARDIS. Yep.
Okay.
Number 5 is a time machine from the movie Time Machine.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Hot tub time machine?
Yep.
Maybe?
I'm getting to the last one.
Sorry.
And the last one is a hot tub from the movie Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's funny.
So if you had to pick one time travel device, which one are you selecting?
Okay, I have mine.
Okay.
I think I would do the DeLorean just because, like, if I want to go back in time, I feel like I'd want to have some stuff with me.
Okay.
Hot tub was close, but I was like, well, if I'm in a hot tub, I want to enjoy a hot tub and just, have a swimsuit on and just enjoy my time.
Time goes away in a hot tub. Like, you're not going back or forward. You're just peaceful.
But then wherever time zone I'm in, then I'm just like in a swimsuit and I'm like, and then I'm wet. So I'm like,
yeah.
So I think like the DeLorean, it's got some style, but then I can also, if I need to bring like a backpack with me, I can have that space to do so.
Smart.
And you could drive it around potentially.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have enough fuel.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. What about you, Larissa?
So I did have a Doctor Who phase back in the day, and I believe the TARDIS is based off of a police box. So yes, it is a little different than a phone box.
Yeah.
And I think I have to go with TARDIS because yes, it is bigger on the inside. So you get like, there's like rooms, there's like different kitchens and stuff. Like you're pretty like set inside the TARDIS. Like, you don't need anything. Like, you have an assistant with you in there, I'm pretty sure. It's a good time. And you get a doctor who may or may not be hot, who may or may not be old looking. We don't know. We don't know what we're going to get. That's the element of surprise, and that's fun.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. I also forgot the other one was the cosmic treadmill from The Flash, but you have to run really fast to use it. So it's like you got to work for your time travel.
That's too much.
I'm going to go with the dagger because I don't know its properties. I don't know how it works. But
if you
it's
stab
small.
yourself?
Well, think about it. Maybe even if I have to like do a little blood thing. It's small. I can conceal it on me, and it doesn't require energy, it sounds like. Like, the DeLorean, you have to put like fuel in it, and the TARDIS is a big box.
Hard to hide.
It's hard to hide, yeah. Mm-hmm. So dagger I could put on my body. I don't know how it works. Somebody in the comments let me know. So yeah. Okay. Question number 2. Simple question. I don't need like super explanation because we'll dive more into it.
Sure.
But if you had the option to time travel only once, would you go to the past or the future?
Tale as old as time, that question.
I know.
Larissa, why don't you go first? I answered first last time.
I guess I have some questions. So how would me being in the past or the future affect the timeline? Because if I go into the future...
Don't think about it like that. Would it be more interesting for you to go to the future or the past? In this scenario, because there's going to be more questions.
I don't know. That's always the kind of idea of like, you go to a fortune teller and do you want them to know when like you die? Like, I don't really want to know what my future holds because it's less fun that way. Like, I want to be surprised with what's going on in like 20 years or so. Like, will I have the house of my dreams? It's kind of boring if I just know.
Who time travels 20 years? No, I'd go like to year 3000 if I'm going to the future.
That's fair. I don't know. I just want to like believe that there's hope in humanity, and I'm a little bit of a pessimist sometimes, and so like what I imagine in 150 years is not a happy good time necessarily. So probably I would go to the past, but I don't know if there's a specific time period I want to go back to.
I didn't ask that question yet.
Okay. All right.
I'd go to the past.
Okay.
Past girls.
I feel like the future is always changing, so it'd be difficult. So the past probably.
I'd choose the future only because it's like, you could just... You could see some wild stuff you would never probably have thought of seeing. Like, I want to go far enough in the future where the Earth's not destroyed yet, but to where, like, new technology exists.
So, like, 50 years, because it's going to end in 100?
Probably, like, 200, 300 years.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So, that leads into the next question. If you could go back in time to one period in time, like a specific... like century or a specific like time period that like maybe is like the Roaring 20s, something like that, where it's like kind of got like a thing associated with it.
Do I have my rights still as a woman?
I don't know. That's up to you. But yeah, this is just if you could go back to one time period. I'm not putting in any more details into it yet. So,
Steph, I'll let you take it away.
I think I've always kind of been fascinated just because like my mom has been my role model growing up. But there is a 40-year difference between me and my mom. So I've often thought like just how was it growing up in the 60s when she was younger growing up. So I feel like the 1960s is kind of where I always thought of just because it's so vastly different, and I just think it's an interesting time period.
No, you're not one of those people who are like, oh, I was born in the wrong decade.
No, I said, because my mom is like the biggest role model, I just want to see like what hardships, what was life like back then for her growing up, and what were the things that she experienced. Not saying it's a great time period, because obviously, it's not great. No time period's perfect, but I just kind of want to experience the things that maybe help shaped to like what shaped her to being who she is now, to also then kind of help shape me. It's kind of like if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be the person I am. So like, what are the influences that she had that influenced me? Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense.
That's what I think for me. It's like more of a personal thing.
Yeah. Does Mama Spiffy listen to this?
Oh.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I'm gonna send her a message on Facebook after this.
Oh, she might tear up a little
The
bit.
last thing I need is my mother to know about my Naruto fan fiction sleepover story that I
It's
wrote
not
when I
too
was 13.
bad.
Okay, so that's the one to send her. Like, hey, if you want to listen to the podcast, maybe start with this episode. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, but that's my answer.
That's
Okay.
fair. And who
Nice.
wouldn't want to watch like man land on the moon for the first time? And do you think you'd be a hippie? You know, like
My mom was. Kind of.
Really?
She doesn't like to admit it. Okay, but here's the thing. She also has a jar of mercury. Like the
Interesting.
Well, like she found it. Not to say like, oh, she has
What?
it. Well, she found it in her memory box.
A jar of mercury? Like, how big are we talking? Like a
Not
jar?
big,
Like,
little.
okay,
little.
I'm expecting like
Sure.
a mason jar of mercury.
No, but it was in like the same like thing as like a choker, like pictures from like the 60s.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, that was just a thing we did back then. You know, like it was just so different. So
We
that's
just
Right.
why.
puffed mercury.
Wow. Maybe some people.
oh my goodness.
What
Yeah.
about you, Stinky?
I'm trying to think really hard. So I'm trying to think of a time period where like it probably doesn't exist in real life because this time period's like romanticized a ton. But I want to live in a time period. It's not quite the Middle Ages. It's not like Victorian times. I know that's a big, huge swath of time. But I just want to live in like, I don't know, somewhere in like Germany in the forest where like I could scavenge around and realistically harvest my own sort of like herbs and things to help any sort of like remedies and medicine I might need, or farm with my little sheep, you know? So I'm like, I don't know, 1500s, 1400s, whatever that time period is where you're wearing long flowing dresses and it's vaguely like Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm
Like
talking
Renaissance?
about? Not quite. I feel like it's a little before Renaissance, if that makes sense.
Wait, so you want to
Okay.
go back in time just to when there's not many civilizations popped up so you can walk in the woods?
Kinda. I mean, something a little bit more low key, more chill, a lot more nature around, a lot more animals. I really want to know, like, what did America look like before we tore down all the trees? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of a vibe where, like, what was Europe like before the streets were there? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before like big civilizations.
Right. Like, there's like clean water realistically, like that you could like realistically boil with like some fire and you don't have to worry about it being polluted with some chemical train from like the plant down the street. Like, I don't know, it seems cool.
So before the industrial age.
Yes, pretty much.
Before
Okay.
pollution.
But it was still cool to wear long dresses. Like, men are still wearing long dresses too. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Or like you could wear breeches as a woman to like do your lumberjacking kind of thing, you know? Like, it wasn't looked down upon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, next question. Say you had to you got time traveled. I don't know how it happened.
You got
like
that.
something happened like atoms just split randomly and you got
Mm-hmm.
time traveled and you had no idea what year you were in, like what's like time period where you were, anything at all. You had no idea where you were. But you were interested and you were like curious about like everything going on and stuff like that. What's one you only get to ask one question to anybody you want. What's the one question you're going to ask somebody?
Oh, I see.
And you can ask anything. I mean, you could
Okay.
be in the future, you could be in the past, and you could just ask like one interesting question.
All right.
Wait, so you just get like teleported, boom, and you're like, oh, like
Yeah, you got time traveled.
okay. I feel like I would just be like, where am I? like
That's your only question?
I feel like I'd be so confused. I feel like the first person I see, I'd be like, excuse me, where am I?
Very practical
Is it
answer,
just like a
you know,
random?
getting your bearings.
It's just like a random place too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, where am I?
That's fair.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like honestly, I would be so like scattered and just so thrown off. I would just have to, that would be the first thing out of my mouth.
And then, of course, you're going to be like in an area where like English hasn't been invented yet,
No,
and they're like, I don't
naturally.
know what's going on. Where am I? And then they just like slap you.
Well, I imagine it's like the TARDIS, which is why I picked the TARDIS. That like it filters the language so that you understand it in your
Oh.
own brain. You know.
Okay. Yeah, let's say it's like that, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I'd still say, where am I?
What about you, Larissa? Come on.
I want to like being such a big nerd and loving sociology and stuff. I'd want to act like the perfect question to understand like what sort of like cultural aspects are like specifically niche to that time period and place. So like I want to like think on it like forever. But like so I can't come up with anything like right now. But I don't know, something like what do you do on, because Saturday's probably the concept of a weekend might not even exist to like whenever we time travel to. So I guess like,
right.
what do you do for fun? Like I don't know, something like that. Like because not I want to know, what did people do before like books were mass produced and not everyone was sitting on their like front of a screen watching something for hours on end.
I feel like another one could be like, I need food.
Right.
Well, see, that was my question would be, if I randomly like walked into somebody and like language wasn't a barrier, I'd be like, can you take me to your favorite restaurant or something like that, or like, can you make me your favorite food and just like have whatever this person's having.
That's really
like,
cool. That's a good idea.
It could be something wild, it could be something horrible, I don't know, but I'm gonna do that. I know that's not a great question as far as time travel goes, but
that's really good though, because then you can like I said, being nerdy, like food is such a big thing of culture. Like people value it so much. Like sharing food with someone is such a like an intimate sort of experience. Like that's not a dumb question.
And then it leads to bigger conversation about where the hell you are, what period it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, where'd you find this pig we're roasting over a spit? Like, I don't know.
Okay, you guys ready for the next one?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you could go back in time specifically and change one historical moment,
Oh, no.
what would you change?
Are we going to, like, X out, like, the Hitler question of, like, do we kill Hitler as a baby?
Yeah, don't kill any babies. Like, what one thing would you change? You don't have to, like, stop anything, prevent anything, but, like, would you change anything? Would you not change anything? But, like, if you could change one thing, what would it be? One thing.
I can't prevent 9/11 because 9/11 inspired the creation of my favorite band, MCR, and that also inspired the cultural landmark of Twilight.
Wow.
So 9/11 has to stay.
3,000 lives or a musical group.
That is such a wild thing to say out loud.
No, obviously, if I could prevent tragedy, I would. But that's kind of the like why I asked the Hitler question of like, is this more of a fun aspect, or are we putting on our ethical caps of being like, okay, so if I do this and go back in time and I can prevent so and so disaster, like I don't know if like that would even really work. Like things are so interwoven that like, yes, you may have like pulled out one thread, but that's not the whole tapestry. Like you're not going to prevent the disaster from happening, because really a lot of problems that would be solved by solving the issues of poverty.
I get it. Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right, Steph, somebody who's got a more fun answer. What are you coming up with?
If I could change anything, or if I don't?
I guess, but I mean, you're changing something. What are you changing?
I'm a firm believer about like, I think in the past, like everything happens for a reason. And especially for like, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I could change this moment that happened to me, or like, something embarrassing like that, or but I feel like every moment in the past builds up to who you are now.
Right.
And I feel like that's the kind of the way for the world too. So it's kind of hard to go back and change something. It's like that butterfly effect, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So it
that
makes
created,
it hard.
MCR. So
It's crazy. I think like the biggest, I don't know. It's just like, for me, I would say like there's nothing I would change.
okay,
But
that's fair.
Okay.
yeah, it's just hard for me to be like, I feel like if there was anything, it'd be like maybe something simple that wouldn't drastically alter the change of my life.
Right.
Being like, well, maybe I just wake up like 5 minutes earlier to get to work on time better or something. I don't know. Like,
Right.
It would.
Yeah, you could like go kill like Henry Ford and prevent him from like creating like
Oh my
the
goodness.
5-day work week and stuff.
God.
And the car society we live in.
Oh, we don't care about that. But
No, he killed the, what are they called? The streetcars. He killed the streetcars in cities. Yeah, fuck him. Okay. I want my streetcars back. But I did have one idea. Sorry to interrupt
okay,
you.
now we got an idea.
I'm excited about this idea because it just popped up in my head.
Okay.
I wish we lost the War of 1812, because that was basically America's. Oh, we kind of lost it. But anyway, I wish Canada won, because then if Canada won, we would be Canadian citizens right now. And I want free healthcare.
I mean, I guess that's one way to go about it.
But their inflation's horrible right now. Their price of living is awful right now.
And ours not?
No, but theirs is worse currently.
Free healthcare.
It's true that you both got a point. I would go back to, I don't know what year it was, but they changed the animation style on American Dragon Jake Long. He
You've
used to be a
talked about
cool
this
buff.
before.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to be a cool buff dragon. And then for some reason they changed it to this like scrawny, squiggly looking dragon. I would go back and stop that.
Okay.
I'd prevent that.
Fair
I would say,
enough.
look, the people have spoken. I'm from the future. If you do this, if you make this change, we go into World War III. I don't know how to describe it, but it
Wow.
happens. Yeah, I would like threaten his family, whatever, like
Wow.
in the past.
Death
yeah.
threats. Jeez.
No, not death threats. I would say if he does this change, his whole family starts looking like that. Like he has some
I
sort
don't-
of mystical powers. They start getting all like squiggly, like and jagged
okay.
lines. Yeah.
I don't know how that isn't a death threat, but
It's not.
okay.
No. They don't die. They just turn into squiggly cartoon characters.
Okay, that sounds like a death to me.
It's scaring. It's a scare tactic. You think if you just become squiggly, you die?
I don't know. I mean, what can you do as a squiggle?
It's a two-dimensional character. They
You're
can,
not
I don't know. They
living.
still
I
What are
feel
you
exist.
like if
doing?
a stranger just came out to me and be like, "You're gonna be a squiggle. You're gonna be a squiggle." I feel like I would kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds a little stabby, McStabby. Like I'm
I'm
gonna
not
die in a
stabbing
second.
anybody.
You picked the knife for your time travel device. You're not helping yourself
Oh.
here.
Look, all I'm saying is I would say something convincing enough to make him keep the animation
Sure,
design. That's all I'm
okay,
saying.
Fair enough.
Okay. Next question. Question number Q. I don't know. I don't remember what question we're on. So, all right. So, if you could go back in time again
Okay.
and take one singular item with you,
Oh,
what would you take and why?
interesting. I want to ponder on this for a little bit because there's so many cool items and artifacts and I guess that's what museums are doing if you think about it in that
Yes.
kind of a way.
Yeah, digging up graves and taking whatever they find.
Things away from their time and their context. Yeah.
Steph, do you have anything in mind?
Wait, I'm taking something from the past.
No. You are getting sent back in time to random time period X,
Okay.
and you get to take one item with you.
Take
We
it.
Besides,
are
like,
taking an item
yes,
with
yes,
us.
yes,
We're
you're
not
taking an item
taking an
to the
item
past.
from the past. Okay, that's why my museum comment
No.
came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to
Now I
take one
understand.
item from now to the past.
Okay.
What are you taking?
Well, I guess it depends on where I'm going because, if I'm going back to
Let's say
the Salem witch trial times, I don't want to be told I'm a witch and then burned at the stake.
pre-1900s. We'll just say that.
Well, still, I'd
I
still
know,
be
I'm
burned
just-
at the stake as a witch.
I don't think you're gonna get burned. Just take an item with you. Don't think too much about this.
Oh.
Okay.
Can I give mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, go
go
for
ahead.
it.
Okay. If I get sent back to pre-1900s and I can take one item with me, it's gonna
Right.
be penicillin, because
that's smart.
and I know that sounds like a nerdy
Witchcraft,
answer, but if I could be hey, look at this, and heal somebody
Right.
with these magical powers, I'd be revered as some sort of deity of some sort. Pre, penicillin
Ooh.
time period.
Same idea. Hand soap. Be like, guys, wash your hands before surgery. It might help save people's lives.
Yeah, I guess that could have saved Abraham Lincoln or something. I don't know.
I was gonna say a Naruto action figure because I thought that'd be kind of
That's
funny.
really fun.
But then I changed my mind to I think a Polaroid camera, like the
That'd be
Fujifilm,
fun.
because they have
Yeah.
cameras with the big flash, right?
Yeah.
But they're
Right.
old and not in color. But could you imagine having this little thing that prints out a picture right on the spot and they don't have to develop it,
Instantaneous.
right? And I'm like, dude, that would
Yeah.
blow people's minds. And it's
Magic.
in color.
I mean,
You
any
burned at the stake,
camera.
though.
Well,
I think any
yeah.
camera would blow people's minds.
But-
Okay, think about it before cameras existed at all, though. And you're like, hey, can
know.
you guys all stand close together. You see the shiny box in my hand. I'm going to click a button. You're going to see a flash of light. And then I'm going to capture you into this box.
Well,
yeah, they think you were a demon.
But the thing too is like you can't really have anything like a modern camera because you need to look at the photos more so like on a computer or device or even.
That's true.
I mean,
Most of them have a tiny screen on them,
but
right?
it's so small. I feel like just having instant proof of a picture, like a photograph, would be kind of fun for them to see.
I feel like a toy lightsaber, like a really high-end one, would be really cool. Like,
With the
you know,
sound
those like
effects.
yes, like one of those $3,000 ones you could take and just be like, "Hey, take a load of this."
They would be like so scared, I think.
I mean, obviously, like the most impressive thing would be like a cell phone, probably.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Because like, even if you didn't have the internet and like you came with a fully charged, 100% charged phone, and you're like, "Hey, look at this," and you start sliding on a screen, even that would be scary, like and impressive. And then you open up like an app on your phone, like some sort of game, like. I don't even know, like a puzzle game that would blow their mind.
You would think you're an alien from like outer
Yeah.
space, like a god sent from the heavens with that sort of access technology. Like
That's the goal. Or what about like a life straw?
that's pretty good.
You know,
That's
one of those
good.
straws you could just put in a puddle and drink water out of.
Right, so you don't have to get dysentery or whatever from. Well, I guess it depends on which time period. Because if we're going back to the time period I want to go to, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're going to London in like the 1800s, you better bring that life straw.
Yeah, they're gonna be super impressed when I drink water and like an hour later I'm not dead.
Right, like because most people are drinking like beer because like water wasn't safe, right?
Right. A drone would be cool too, probably like
Yeah.
an aerial drone. Okay. So next question. If you could go back in time to when you were alive at some point in your history of life, it could be
Okay, my short
yesterday,
span
it could
of-
be all the way to like 1 year old. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
And you could tell yourself one thing. Like you had enough time to like say one thing to your past self. You don't get to explain it. You don't get to elaborate at all, but you get to say one thing to your past self. What are you going to say?
So,
I mean, it's-
so we should pick the time, right? In our
Yeah,
lives?
pick a time
Okay.
and then yeah. I mean, you don't have to get super personal if you don't want to, but I would just if you had
I
something
feel like it's a
you wanted
personal
to-
question.
It's super personal.
Nothing personal.
What would
Well, I'm saying,
tell
like, you don't have to
yourself?
say
I know,
something
I'm
like-
just kidding.
Yeah.
Larissa, do you have an idea?
I mean, it's super cliche, and it's cliche for a reason, and they do it all the time in movies and TV shows and books and stuff. Where, like, I'd probably go back to my middle grade school self, you know, that time period where, like, everything's new and everything's changing, and you're not confident about yourself. Just go back and be like, everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. That's sweet. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like boost confidence in young Larissa. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
I would tell myself, first of all, I would go back to Spain when I lived abroad in Spain.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So we're
fair.
getting a little bit more modern than Larissa. I like this. Okay.
It's still, it's 2015.
It's college, yeah.
Yeah, college age. But I would say the one night that I go out and it's barra libre, which is like free bar. Don't take any more drinks from your French roommate.
Hey, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was a rough night.
Oh man. I thought you were
Oh,
gonna
that's
say
really
like
funny.
I don't know how you got that eye infection, but like whatever it is to prevent you getting that like crazy eye
yeah,
infection.
that probably also is a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, that would have saved me a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the smart thing for me would be like not prevent, but like warn myself of like my heart condition that I have,
Don't
like in
die.
some way. But that's boring because like that's
Right.
that's like part of my character arc.
Also, our listeners, our dear Sam here has a really rare heart condition that he found out when he was in 6th grade. Just for
Yeah, 6th, 7th grade,
Context.
somewhere like that. Yeah, 9 years old. I don't remember. But
Nine.
died
You were
twice,
9 in 6th grade,
right?
huh?
I don't know. I don't know math. Okay, but if I could go back and tell myself like one thing, I'm trying to think of like famous historical moments that happened since I've been alive. Like obviously the biggest one is like 9/11. But like I don't know. I think I would like describe to like the day before it happens to my younger self, like 9/11, like the day before it happens,
Right.
and just be like, because then you're gonna be like, hey guys, this is gonna blow your mind, but look, just watch the TV
No.
tomorrow. Like And
that
then
seems messed up.
But
though.
that's
not
kinda
in-
crazy.
Well, no, because like, look, it's a horrible, horrible thing that happened. It's
Right.
a tragedy, yes, but they're gonna think I'm some sort of fortune teller or something.
Or a terrorist.
But like, I don't have knowledge of like, like people would say, oh, I would go back in time and like bet on sports, or like I would go back in time and do this. Like, if I got sent back in time and I had to prove I was a time traveler, I don't think I could. Like, I don't physically think I could prove I was a time traveler unless I had my phone with me. Because if somebody was like, oh, you're a time traveler, who's the president next? And it's like 1892, I'd be like, I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. Or like, if they're like, oh, okay, you're a time traveler, well, who wins the World Series next year? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to that. 2016, I can tell you the Indians lost. Like, yeah, I could go back to 2016 and do sports betting on Cleveland, and that's it.
Really
Like,
funny.
but yeah, I would tell myself something to just make me look like I have some sort of superpower. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know if 9/11 might be a little extreme.
A little bit, yeah.
A little extreme. But like, I don't know. I can't think of too many like crazy things happen. Like, what if it's, I guess, like, I don't know, like a new
The
business
2008
comes to
crash.
town. No. I'm talking like Chipotle is invented. Like,
Oh, what about that first outbreak of Chipotle?
yeah. What do you mean, like outbreak?
The E.
Like,
coli.
oh no, I don't know when that happened. I'm saying like
Isn't that
I
like
would
all the time?
I mean,
I would like notify myself that Chipotle is really good at that point. Like at that point, like I was like, I'll get like steak and cheese. That's fine. And then like, no, tell myself it gets better with Chipotle. Just keep adding things. It gets better every time.
you're going to tell yourself to not be so damn picky about your food.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. One last question.
Yes.
One last question to close it out. Okay. Let's see. Time travel question. Oh boy, I don't have a last question, but I want to.
Wow.
No, I know it. I thought I had one.
Maybe go back in time and tell yourself, be prepared to come up with the last question about time travel.
Wow, thanks.
do you do?
Okay, I got it. It's the classic like time travel question. If
Okay.
you could go back in time and consume one piece of media for the first time again,
Oh, what a
What would it be?
classic. Oh, man. Something that...
Naruto, easy.
yeah, I
That's
knew that.
fair.
Yeah.
that was foreseeable. No, that would be so freaking cool to see. Just the whole scene with like Gaara and like Lee fight and him dropping the weights again for the first time. I yearn
was
for that
pretty
feeling.
impactful.
I yearn for that. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Well, talking about time travel, I adore this movie, and I go back
No.
every-
Oh, okay. If that's what you're gonna say, sorry.
Yeah, I go back.
I thought you were
and-
gonna go into a rant.
No. This is an actual piece of media that I love watching, and I like randomly discovered by myself one day. And I was like, oh, this looks like a fun, like sweet little rom-com shoujo-ish style movie. I'm gonna watch this. This is fun. And like literally like every 2 years or so, I'm like, oh my god, I should go back and watch that movie. It's the Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Classic, beautiful.
Oh, yep.
Leave you
Very on
wanting
topic.
More. You're like, where's the sequel? And there's no sequel because that's the damn point of the movie, and it makes your heart cry. Yeah.
As much as I really enjoyed watching Avengers Endgame in theaters for the first time because it was just like really exciting.
Yeah.
I think I would go back and play like Skyrim for the first time
That's fair. That's a good point. I never thought about that.
because like that
What
that
a good
game
time.
really made me want to play more like like RPG style games or more like adventure games, and it was just such a defining moment in video game history, and it was so fun.
Can
So,
I pick?
yeah.
I was just.
Can I pick one more real quick?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry,
sure.
Steph. Talking about video games. I had a period of time right before college where like I wasn't in video games for like a while. I had a period of like not playing them, so I was like, oh, let's bring out the GameCube and let's play whatever we have. And I went to the exchange and I was like, oh, I heard good recommendations about this game. Oh my god, if I could play Tales of Symphonia again for the first time.
Yeah, I know what game you're talking about.
That's so good. You weren't expecting like such an emotional pull, but there's such a twist, and you're like, oh my god, why am I caring about these 3D sprite characters that look vaguely 3D? Oh my god, I want to hug them. Yeah, I'd go back and play that again for the first time.
Nice. Steph, were you gonna add something?
Oh, it was to your previous talk about Skyrim for the first time. Mm-hmm. I've never played that game.
Rude.
I've never seen anyone
Play it for the first time.
I've never watched anyone play it. I know nothing about the game. Like, that's just one of those games that I don't know.
Well, maybe I need to go back in time and tell you to play it.
You go back in time and tell Steph one thing.
Yeah.
I think I can answer for all of our listeners if they could go back in one time and do one thing. It'd be listen to Shifting Tones for the first time. I know that was such a pivotal moment in all of your lives. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening to this wonderful time-filled episode. We hope it didn't take up too much time of yours. Yep. And we appreciate you so much for listening. Always follow us on social media at Shifting Tones Pod, Sir Captain Sam, Larissa.Schaefer, and Spiffy Steffi. And thanks again, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.